Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Roundtable. My Women's Month quote today is, strong women don't have attitudes, they have standards. Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. With me this morning is my amazing co-host, Kirk. Hi, Kirk.
Hey, everyone.
And, of course, public relations specialist, Miss Kamisha Anderson. Hi, Kamisha. That color is so popping on you, girl.
Thank you, my dear.
Yes, yes. Now, you know what? We're just going to jump right on to see what's going on online in our social buzz. Check this out.
Other students from other schools
I'm announcing that effective April 2024, the income tax threshold on personal income tax will move from $1.5 million to $1.7 million.
Yes, yes. So in case you missed it, the Minister of Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance announced the 2024-25 budget this year. Were you all tuned into it? Did you watch? Did you see what's Kurt? Really, Kurt? Really?
Definitely.
The national budget is everybody's business, Kurt.
I've been working. I've got a new job. I've been working.
Oh, all right. You're excused. So what do you think, Kim? What do you think about this new announcement? Everybody was waiting to see something about the income tax threshold. Thoughts?
Well, sane people were waiting, right-minded people were waiting for the income tax threshold. I was just waiting for the customs to move from $50 to $100 so I can finally clear my Amazon card and my Shein card.
Girl.
So thank you to the Minister of Finance.
Yes, girl.
Yeah, thank you.
We happy with that too. No, but we didn't know about that already because they didn't announce that. So personally, I was waiting to see an increase in the threshold. I have to tell you though, I think it'll do a little bit more than the 1.7.
They said to be grateful for what we get. We get to 1.7 this time. Maybe next time we'll go to 2 and then we go to 2.5. But
I think we should just skip 2 altogether and go straight to 3. My thoughts, you know, write it down. The next time we have this conversation, and I hope it's soon, that the threshold will really get a good bump up, because I think, you know, most Jamaicans will really benefit from something like that, for sure.
Definitely. Just having more spending power, having more money at the end of the month, at the end of the year to spend, we can't complain.
No, man, for real. You know what? Big ups to the people at the ministry that are working hard to get all of these things done. You know, we wish you all good things. It's now time for a bag of things. All right, so I see Kurt with a book in him, and so I guess there's a book come out of theme bag of things. Kurt, tell us about your book.
All right, this book is Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by John Gray. And this is actually one of my favorite books.
Why?
Right, because it has taught me so many things about the dynamics of men and women. Now, the reason why I like this book is because, well, as I mentioned, it teaches many things about men and women, but it also helped me to deal with the women in my life by understanding their perspective more, right? For example, in the book, it teaches how men and women deal with stress. Men tend to go to their mental caves, and women tend to like talking, right? So what it means by that is when men deal with a problem, they isolate themselves, right? They get focused and this, all right, figure out, how do I solve this problem, right? And they typically feel better when they solve problems in their lives. For women now, it's a different thing. For women, they enjoy talking about their problems and receiving empathy. Now, imagine how much cussing go on just because my woman comes to me and tells me about her problems, and I just say, yeah, man, if you don't like your job, just leave your job, man. When she just wants me to just sit down and listen to her and give her empathy.
Shelley doesn't agree, in case you didn't realize.
I realize.
Shelley doesn't agree.
Well, look here. You know what? My approach to this kind of things, you know, a much more mature me, because I read that book too. A much more mature me will say it is important for us to recognize that men and women are individuals and we don't all do things the same way. So prescribing that men do things a certain way and women do a certain way can lead to some challenges, because there are so many exceptions. I don't know if you should even call it a rule. But a lot of the times when women are talking, we're not talking so that you can listen to us and express empathy. That's a part of the process in us developing a plan to solve the problem. So we solve problems too. We don't just start with them. Just putting that out there.
Sometimes you have to talk through it.
Yes, that's a part of the process.
Your mind works and figure it out.
And you also have women who are pensive. They will think, they will sit quietly, and they will think and they'll process and they'll even write things down, and that's a part of their developing a plan.
They go in their mental caves.
Yes, but I just want to make sure that we understand that women solve problem too. We don't just talk about solving it, we solve it.
Point taken, point taken. Well, yes, it's a very generalized book.
Yes.
Right, where it talks about the men and women.
Correct.
So
no, but I think it is
there
important.
are exceptions.
Yes,
of
so Miss Kim, have you read this book?
I haven't read that book because as a book girly myself, if you didn't know, I own an online bookstore called On the Shelf JA. Check it out on Instagram. Shameless plug. But I haven't read this book because of that, what you just said about the overgeneralization and the simplification. But it's a very popular book.
It is. It was very popular in the time.
Men tend to like it more than women for some reason.
I know the reason.
I don't know why.
But let me talk about what's in the box. The box, why? But I really like something to eat out of the box. So I'm just saying.
One day we will get pizza.
Hope springs eternal. Okay, so interesting topic. See, this book kind of spring out to the topic. It's saying opinionated versus disrespectful. Where is the line? I think I want to start with you, Kurt.
Okay, so I'm a very opinionated person, right? And while sometimes when people cross the line, I do mean to be disrespectful, right? For example, if you start a conversation with me with the sentence, I identify as, you get no respect instantly from me.
Why,
right?
Kurt?
Now, while I may be disrespectful sometimes in those instances, many times I don't mean to be disrespectful. Yes, my opinions are very direct, explosive, and in your face, but what it ultimately boils down to is what I believe is true and what is right.
Okay.
So that's what I use to navigate myself.
How do you differentiate that? Like, what is true versus what is right?
No,
like the
what is
who
true
says,
and what is right.
I identify as that really said you're way over the edge. So they might be thinking then, it is true that I identify as, finish the sentence. So what about, how do you differentiate in a specific situation like that?
So the difference with that situation is there's a huge difference between my truth and the truth. Right? So in their reality, let's say they identify as, I don't know, a furry.
Yes.
For whatever reason. Right? They identify as a furry. I have no business to take part in your delusion of being a furry. The truth is, you're still a human.
You know, so I'm going to make Kurt calm down right now, because I don't nobody not tell him that he looks very fired up.
I think I think he's personally experienced that. Yes. That sounds like a personal experience.
So what do you think? Opinionated or disrespectful? Where's the line?
I think as the social media age grows and we are more into social media, we've completely crossed the line, gone to disrespect, and we need to get back over the line, because people share what they think is their opinion and they hide behind freedom of speech, and it's my opinion and I have freedom of speech so I can share it, but why? What is their intention? For example, if I say, Shelly, I don't like your Bantu nuts, that's my opinion, but why am I sharing it? It does nothing for me and it does nothing for you. If I were to tell you now, oh, Shelly, one of your Bantu nuts around the back is loose, then you can fix it. What's the purpose of sharing your opinion? And I think we hide behind us, oh, we're just opinionated and we're just straight talkers, and so we can say whatever we want. But it shouldn't be so. If there's no clear reason behind sharing that opinion, if that opinion is not going to make anything better, then keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent, but I think there's also a little bit of perspective that needs to be seen here, because I could say something and you feel disrespected even though I wasn't disrespectful. And sometimes people equate being disrespectful with just being in disagreement with what you said. And I think that perspective needs to be clear, because the truth is, sometimes what you say will hurt somebody even if it is not said with the intention of being disrespectful, and that person will see, rather than receiving the information as something that they can improve upon, as an attack. They will see it as you being mean to them, being disrespectful to them, and therefore your opinion does not matter. Because, and I shall step on the corn, that is me stepping. If you look at the issue of weight loss and fat, fat has become a bad word. Fat has become offensive. But fat exists. There is a state of being fat.
Yes.
Now, some people, if you say, you might, even if in personal relationships, it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm on social media calling somebody fat. If I remember one time, I saw a girlfriend of mine that I haven't seen in a long time, and I said, my girl, you get fatty, Jesus Christ. And she's going and she cussing and she... And the truth is, the last time you see her, she was skinnier, and now she fat.
But I have an opinion on that.
Talk to me about
guys,
it.
let's go.
Because I feel like, especially as Jamaicans, we use the look, the fat or the skinny, as a way of greeting, but we don't know what's going on. And I personally, I was always a skinny girl. From I know myself, I'm a stick. I am just now putting on a little flesh on the bones. But you don't know my struggle to get that flesh on the bones.
Somebody say, I said, girl, you're fatty.
No. I might be rude to you if that is how you greet me with, especially if we're not close or we haven't spoken in a while. You don't know my struggles. You don't know what I'm going through. Leave my weight out of it. I don't need your opinion on it, and if you mention it, I'm going to take it as disrespect, and I'm going to react as disrespect.
In China, you know, that's actually a very common thing to greet people with. You gain weight, man, or you lose weight, man.
That is a Jamaican thing. Don't worry yourself. But, you know,
my opinion...
Well, with the opinion, them is, I'm getting the break signal. So let's take the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Roundtable this morning. Our topic is opinionated versus disrespectful. Where's the line? Kurt, you were squirming in your chair before we went on the break.
Because we're talking about, you know, how it's very normalized to greet someone in China, whereas like you gain a little weight or, you know, you get fat. They literally call it out. You get fat, man, or you get maga. They put it to the extreme.
Of such. It's
and it's so common.
Okay.
It's so common.
Like, hold on. We don't want to talk about fat and slim this man. That was an exercise. Let's talk about tone for a moment. Now, some people, you say something to them and they completely miss what you said because they didn't like your tone. How important is tone when we're talking about whether or not we are being disrespectful?
I think it's very important. I think it's right up there also with where you say it, because I could share my opinion with you about something, but it's just me and you, and we can talk about it. If I share my opinion in front of Kirk and the whole of Jamaica on Sunrise, then, you know, you might take it a certain way, but if I pull you aside and share my opinion with you, it's the how. And it's the same thing with the tone. If I come off and I'm aggressive and I'm forcing it down your throat, then I feel like the natural reaction is to get defensive and then take it as disrespect. But if I come to you on a much softer tone, much gentler, and say, hey, Shelley, hey, Kurt, da-da-da-da, then we might...
Is that a woman thing, though? That's what I want to ask the audience. Is that a woman thing? Because as men... Hold on. As men, right, when men are communicating with men, we are very direct and harsh. Like, for example, if my brethren gain weight, let's stick to that little, you know, tangent. If him gain weight, I say, yo, brother, you want to forward to the gym with me? You know, put on a little muscle and take off a little belly what you have going there, so, right? But if you ever said that to a woman, you're going to get crucified.
Yeah, but you see, it comes back to my thought about generalizing men and women, because personally, none of these things matter to me, but I get it. And I think your comment about it being a woman thing may be valid, especially in professional settings, because I find myself having to be very mindful, is what I'm going to call it, of how I even send an email, because in my guesstimation, I'm just telling you what it is. I get to the point. When I write an email, I said, hello, here's what I'm saying, here's what you think you should do, talk to me later about it. End of email. But you have to say, I hope this message finds you healthy. I would like you to consider, please, comma, this idea that I have, and I thank you for considering it. And I find it to be a massive waste of time. But it's the toll that you pay to work in a certain environment where certain people, instead of listening to the message or reading the message, they're watching the tone. You know how many times I write an email and I've asked one of my colleagues to check it, read this to me, because I don't want it sound. Anyway, so make sure say.
I definitely think it will come down in that case to the relationship and the setting. Because my girlfriend, if I see my girlfriend and I feel like something is not right, then I can easily say to my girlfriend. But if I don't know you like that and you don't know me like that, if you come tell me, say, I need to come with you to the gym,
oh, you know, so there might be violence at the table this morning. Let there be peace.
I love it.
Let there be peace.
But even on that same note, right? Let's say I'm with my woman, right? And something happens what she's not aware of, and we need to move, right? We need to leave. I'm not going to spend the time and say, babe, I know you're having fun right now, but we got to go.
I think
I'm not going to spend. What I'm going to do is, come here, we're going. I'm not explaining nothing. It's going to come out harsh, or even sometimes if like you're shocked, move. It's not going to sound nice.
I think that might be a tad bit different, but what I'm trying to get at is you don't always have, you can think something, but it don't always have to come out. And if you and that person don't have that sort of relationship where they'll take your feedback and take, if it's criticism, they'll take your criticism, they'll take your opinion and think about it. Because if you don't know me and you come share something, share your opinion of, say, my looks, because people do it all the time. I am almost 6 feet tall and I wear 4-inch heels. I know I'm tall. I can feel it up there. I'm tall. You don't need to come share your opinion with me.
The weather is different
about me being tall and wearing 6-inch heels. I don't need your opinion. I know I'm tall. I know what I look like.
All right, let me step on your car now with that all something here. My forehead big. You can put one movie on my forehead. People say to me all the time, Shelly forehead biggie? It matters not to me. And so I think sometimes it really comes down to the individual and how they respond to things. So, for example, we've been talking about fat and slim, tall and short. Let me talk about my hair. My hair offends a lot of people, but there's a lot of people who actually love my hair too. Either way, I like it, so the rest of it is irrelevant to me. I've had to be in meetings to convince people why my hair is not inappropriate. And so I think that ultimately, is how you respond to it. You can't say anything to me to trigger me. I dare you. You're probably going to have to do some research. You cannot trigger me. And I think that is really where the strength comes from. When you put yourself in a position where people can say something, they can be disrespectful, but they won't get you to lose who you are because they have been disrespectful.
And I love that. I really love that. And I'm working to get to that point. I am working. The Lord is working on me.
We are all works in progress, darling.
Some of us are thin-skinned and some of us are thick-skinned.
Yes,
it's really what it boils down to.
It's really what it was. But you know what? At the end of the day, be respectful. Because there are some times where people are just plain rude unnecessarily. And sometimes it's the way they communicate and they say, but that's something say. You can change. You don't have to stay so all the time. So it is very important as well that we recognize that for men, respect. Serious enough, Kirk. Tell me about the relationship that men have with respect.
Well, the thing is, all right, if we, as men, if I respect you, I want the best for you, right? If you're my friend, I want the best for you, which is going to come out harsh. If you need to do something, I'm going to ensure that you do the something that you need to do, right? If I say, all right, go look a job because you haven't been working for a while, I'm not going to tell you in a nice way. Even though I respect you, right? But then now there's the women where the men have to say it in a nice way, and a lot of men don't communicate that way. That's what a lot of people don't understand.
What I'm really trying to get at is, like me, see man, fight Like they're ready to kill people because they were disrespected. I'm trying to understand that because I can't get myself to that level of anger. Like, especially if a woman disrespect you in a certain way, if them load you up, you know. So that is what I'm trying to understand.
Their principles got violated.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so just like how women see their emotions and how they feel, generalization again, but men view respect in that way, right? It's how we navigate the world. Because we navigate the world with respect, it's like, okay, you're violating my core principle. Something have to go on. I have to correct this. And many times, I don't condone to this, it leads to violence.
So Kem, for you, in a professional setting, can you remember you being disrespected, like blatantly? And you know what? This feel like it'll take a little answer. So we could do that. Break something here. We'll be right back. You want to hear the answer to this. See you when you get back. Thanks so much for staying with us. Woo! Time flies when good things are happening. But you know what? It's time for final thoughts. So I'm going to answer my question. Yeah, I want to know the answer. When you're disrespecting a professional post, how do you handle it?
The thing about me is I can match energy. And I also am a communicator, so I have a way with words. So I don't have to get loud and all of that. I can calmly reprimand you, let you know that, all right, you've disrespected me. Even hurt your feelings a little bit, but do it gently. I'm very good at that. The thing I cannot, and God is still working on me, so I still haven't mastered it yet, is when people get loud with me, unfortunately, especially men, if you get loud with me, then my right eye start twitch and my left foot starts shake and the heat start come out of my ears. I don't know how I would respond, to be honest. And thankfully, I haven't experienced that because I don't know how I would respond.
So give me final thoughts quick and fast before your ears start twitching them things.
My final thoughts, think before you speak. You don't have to share everything that comes to your mind. You can think about it and just keep that to yourself because, you know, it won't be of any benefit to the person, to the next person. Sharing your opinion and how people take it will come down to the relationship you have with them. If you don't know this person from Adams, keep your thoughts to yourself. They don't want to hear it.
Kurt?
I believe in free speech, right? Which means I personally don't like tiptoeing around other people's feelings because what you say comes from what you think. And if we limit what we think, we then are limiting what people are saying, and then a chain reaction happens where you dumb down the society by limiting their thoughts.
You know, I fully disagree with that. And for me, I think the difference between being opinionated and being disrespectful has to do with how you respond. There are a lot of things that will happen in the world, but you don't have to respond to all of it. And people are not always going to be nice to you and say what you want to hear or even say it how you want them to say it. The truth is the only person you have control over is you. So just discipline your thing. Make sure you be the calmest person in the room because the strongest person, as far as I'm concerned, is the one who, in the midst of all of the chaos, can hold it. So hold it sometime because a lot of the times after you react, when you calm down and reflect, you would have done something different. All right? This was a great, great conversation. I'm so sorry to end it so quickly. But of course, thank you so much for being with us this morning. That is a wrap. Make sure you enjoy the rest of your Thursday and have a good weekend. And as you go forward in the world, remember, be good and be on purpose. Walk good. Take care.
TV.